Yeah, man. Okay, your name for me one more time.
CHIEDZA.
CHIEDZA.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to say it with like some vim. Hey guys, welcome back to Conscious Conversations. Today I've got a special guest with me. It's my good friend. You know, we're doing another series of Walks of a Revert. This is either episode 2 or 3. I mean, you'll find out when we get there. But I've got my girl, the lovely CHIEDZA?
Yeah.
Yes, I got it. Okay, perfect. Yes. Oh my god, how are you, baby?
I've been really good. Alhamdulillah, I can't complain. How are you?
Good, man. How are you feeling about today?
I'm nervous, but I'm excited just because I've not done anything like this before. And I've not spoken on my journey as a revert. So, but yeah, I'm excited.
Let's talk about how we got to know each other.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? Clubhouse, I'm guessing, right?
No, it was that
Or-
group chat on WhatsApp.
That came from Clubhouse,
Yes.
right?
And then I saw you posted some. Then I followed you on Instagram, and then I saw that you'd posted that you wanted to get some like revert stories.
Right.
And I just DM'd you and I was like, "Hi, like I'm a revert." I was like, "Let me put myself out there just because like I'm so bad at making like friends and like putting myself out there to people." But I just said to myself, you know what? Yeah, let me do it.
Yeah,
so
man.
then I just sent you a message, and then we just started like talking from there, and then the conversation just picked up.
Oh my god, that was sick. I remember even because when I first joined the whole Clubhouse thing, I was just there for like all my film stuff, master classes, and then I remember being in some chats thinking, too many people have a voice that don't need a voice on this chat on this whole app. So then I created like I went into little Muslim rooms, whatever, and then I created Faith Talk, which I think is the initiation of like, or the initial thing that brought us together.
Yeah.
Because I put out that thing on my Instagram for that purpose. And then I remember I had a group and it was like you, and it had a couple of my girls like Bilkis, Anta, all of those people, and like everybody was sharing their story, and I was like, oh my god, like you're just good vibes, like you're good people. So I was like, let me message her, let me get her number, and we hit it off because we lit.
Yeah.
So, but let's get into like your story. Let's talk family life, talk culture, like what's your ethnicity, like your upbringing, what was that like before you go into your reversion story. So let's go into that.
So I'm originally from Zimbabwe. Whole family is just
All the way Zim.
All the way Zim.
All
No
the
matter
way.
how far you go back, we're just Zim.
From
way
from
back.
the jump.
Exactly.
Yes.
Literally, so I was born in Zimbabwe.
Cool.
Then I moved here when I was about 4, I think, 3 or 4.
So you were born there?
Yeah, I was born in Zim. Moved here with my
Cool.
parents. But then I would say like I grew up in the UK.
Right, yeah. You were 4.
Yeah, and then moved around a bit. Started in Dover, ended up in London.
Wow.
So yeah, and I've always been like just a shy person, and I've always just questioned a lot of things just in general. I've always just questioned not even just faith, but everything I questioned.
Yeah.
Just because like in my house it's like proper like Zim and then traditional, but then you come outside your front door and then like this is England, like it's so
You walk in the house
Yeah.
and you're back home, you're in
Yeah,
Zimbabwe,
literally.
and then you walk out and it's like raw.
everything is so different. So
Yeah.
I've always found trying to like balance culture and like my roots, and then also like living in this Western country, like a battle, especially because the Zim community in London is so small.
I think you're the only person I know now, but I've only ever met one other person from Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
So that's wild.
It is so small. Like we're such a small community. Like because a lot of us haven't immigrated here. Like I said, like my parents were the first of like their generation. Both my grandparents still back in Zim. Most of my family are still back in Zim. So I have always found that hard.
Right.
And that is even before we put faith into it.
Yeah, that's culture is one thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Faith is a whole different ballgame.
Exactly. And I feel like for me, my culture is so important to me.
Yeah.
It's before anything, like I'm so proud to be Zim.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah,
you have to be.
Exactly. And so like I don't even like to, it's gonna sound bad, but I don't even identify as like British. I always say like I'm Zimbabwean.
Of course, but that's how it should be.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I feel like it's so easy to get lost in the whole like I'm black British. No, I'm not. I'm Zimbabwean.
I don't even like that. Doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Because I'm not from here. Like
this isn't my land.
It's not
really
exactly.
and truly.
It's
If my parents didn't come here, I'd still be back home.
You get it?
So
and I always joke and say I'm not really here by choice.
yeah, it just happens.
It just happens.
Oh my god, that's lit.
So yeah, my culture is very important to me. So yeah, just trying to like balance culture
right.
with growing up in the UK, before you've put faith into it, has always been a challenge for me. Just trying to like find my identity and like where I fit in, because a lot of people, they see me and they'll just assume that I'm like Nigerian, I'm Congolese, I'm anything but Zimbabwean. So I've had to actually like not fight for it, but be very assertive in the fact that no,
like this is who I am.
This
like,
is who I exactly.
Don't try and change who I am because it doesn't fit
exactly with the mold.
The molds. I love that's lit. That's lit. The molds. Yes. Don't fit in that.
Yeah, absolutely not. I'm a proud little Zim.
Yes, we loved. I'm gonna slap on Zimbabwe flags everywhere. This whole thing is just gonna be Zim.
Yeah, like I feel like you got to be so proud of it, like your culture, especially when you are an ethnic minority. You're gonna stick out anyway, so 100. You have to be proud of your roots, because if you get, I feel like if I get whitewashed too much, you can easily lose yourself. And
you know that comes down to just you knowing your roots.
Yeah.
So like when you grow up in a especially I feel like African households, they're very assertive with their culture. Like my parents educated me about who I am so long ago, like from the jump, before I even knew anything about faith. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's important because it is your identity. Like it is where you come from. It's how you think. It's how you do things. Like it's tradition. It's everything. So I'm here for that. Like I think nobody should ever be denying anyone's culture, let alone denying your own. Like, just be you, man.
You have to embrace it. That's the way that I see it. And especially now, the way that I see it also as I've gotten older, it's and I'm thinking long term. And I think I look at some of my like other relatives who are married with kids, and you know, one of my cousins, she's got 2 kids, and she's actually teaching them like our language, like Shona, she's teaching them that. And I find those things so admirable, because like I said, growing up in this world, it is so easy to get lost because it's not going to be taught in school. It's not, you know, what is going to be taught. So if we don't teach ourselves, and then, you know, our future generation, our kids and whatnot, you easily get lost.
It's a form of legacy.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? You have to pass it down. That is who you are. Like, just because you live in a certain environment, that environment isn't you.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? That could be because of work, it could be because of lifestyle, it could be because, but you and who you are and your roots. Like if everyone really and truly stayed where they were, and every country was good, do you know what I mean? Like we'll all just be living our lives back home and just doing our thing.
That is literally the only reason that we came here was for a better life.
Yeah.
That we just couldn't get, unfortunately, back in Zimbabwe. So I do definitely think like my culture does play a big part of like identify who I am. And I'm, you know, if I could wear like a Zimbabwean flag hijab, I probably would.
Come on, love. If you wear the Zoom, I'll wear Algeria.
You know what? Yeah, I've got a big flag.
Come on,
I'm gonna find it and I'll
wrap
make
it
it
up.
100%.
Sis, I'm so here for that. But let's get into like your family life, your relationships, your parents, like that dynamic. Especially when you were looking into faith before you actually took the step to come into Islam. Like, talk about that.
So for me, it's my mom in Zimbabwe. Generally, it's a majority of a Catholic Christian country.
Right.
Whatever denomination, it's just Catholic is the main thing. So my mom, is Catholic. She's been brought and raised that way. Same thing with my dad. But then with my dad, he was never really like the whole churchy thing. So we went to like a Roman Catholic primary school, secondary school, sixth form idea. And my sister's the same thing. She's gone to Roman Catholic primary school, secondary school. So yeah, when it came to like Sundays, church things, my mum was very much for like, let's go. My dad never came with us. I can count, like he only ever came if it was like the baptism, Holy Communion.
Like an important event.
Exactly.
Right.
My dad was more along the lines, he said to me, like, me going to church on a Sunday doesn't make me a good person. Like, it doesn't prove anything.
Yeah.
And my dad, in terms of like religion, he was very much open-minded. You know, he's read the Torah, he's read the Quran. He always used to joke and say, like, you know, on Judgment Day, when I get to Jannah, it's going to be every man for themselves.
Yeah, man, it gets like that.
Like, literally.
Yeah.
And so for me, I didn't find Islam until later on in life. I mean, I was curious. I've always been curious about it, because when it came to going to church, it felt like a chore to me, if I'm honest with you. I could never say that I woke up and said, I want to go to church this Sunday. I would look for anything to get out of going. And
wow, that's interesting.
I'm going to be honest, and I kind of felt bad, because it was almost like And I thought, am I an atheist? But then I thought, I can't be an atheist because like there's so much out there. Like it's not like a big bang. I knew it wasn't that, but then
it's like too many things make sense
exactly.
for me to come and
But then when I didn't like stick with, you know, being a Christian, I just sort of like, I was like lingering. And then now when I think about it, my actions, it just showed I didn't have any sort of like direction or guidance. That even some of the Christians that I know, they had a bit of direction and guidance, but I feel like when you don't have faith, you just like you're in a lingering space, really.
100.
And so for me, in school, again, in my religious studies class, they kind of like grazed upon other religions, but it was very much like Christianity focused. All my exams were Christianity focused. And then as I got to uni, I started to meet more people, and then I was really exposed to people that weren't like me. Then I met, you know, some Muslims, and then even like when I met like black Muslims, I was like, I didn't know it was a big thing. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know why I love this conversation? Because I've met a lot of my friends are reverts.
Yeah.
So a lot of my revert friends will tell me, like, before they came into Islam, they didn't think you could be black and Muslim because they associated their skin color and faith as identity, and they felt like the identity didn't match. And I found that so interesting because obviously me being raised in a Muslim household and stuff, like seeing black Muslims was just normal to me because I understood that it's just the way of life. But when I first heard that, I was like, wait, what? They were like, I didn't know you could be black and Muslim. I thought you had to be like Asian. And I'm like, well, I'm not Asian, so what does that make me? Like, do you know what I mean? But it's very interesting because you see that paradox a lot within the black community. Because I think there's such a big yearning for identity because of the fact that we live in a Western country where they want to slap you with the black and white and all of these social constructs that actually don't form your identity or your ethnicity or anything. So I find that so interesting that you said that. And you
100%. And I feel like social media and like society, it's like you said, it's divided us, especially amongst the ethnic minorities, so that we're conditioned to thinking that you can only be Muslim if you look
a type of way.
Right. And then even down to the fact that when I saw some people that were Muslim, and again, my idea of, you know, being a Muslim or Muslim woman was, if you weren't in the hijab, you weren't a Muslim. That was and then when I started to speak to like some like black Muslim, there was one girl in uni I met. It wasn't until like a year later, because she didn't like outright look like a Muslim, like what they think that a Muslim looked like. I didn't know until like Ramadan, like, which was a year later. Then I was like, okay, I was like, okay, then.
Okay, I see you.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
And so this is my first year uni. Then I kind of got interested in Islam and I started reading on it. But then I won't lie, I got lost in the uni source. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Uni sources.
I got lost. I wanted to go out and do whatever with my friends. I just got lost in the uni source. And then I kind of I put faith on a back burner. At this point, I knew for a fact I wasn't a Christian. Hands down, I knew that for a fact. Like when I was applying for stuff, you know, when they ask you what's your religion, your religion's just to be inclusive. So I'll put atheist.
Interesting.
I had 100% just said I'm not.
You're like, I'm not involved in this, but I don't know if I'm involved in this, so I'm just going to be safe and say atheism.
Exactly, because then I didn't want to put, you know, Muslim and then like misrepresent something that I still had a lot to learn about. And so then I didn't find my way back to Islam again up until last year actually.
Wow.
And it's because for me 2020 was probably one of the hardest and probably the most difficult years of my life. So oh God, I'm gonna get emotional.
Oh my God, it's okay. If you need to breathe. We have to. I'm sure we have tissue somewhere.
I think for me, the one thing that drew me back to Islam was the last year I lost my dad that passed away, unfortunately. So
I'm sorry about that.
That's alright. So it was sort of like I was lost.
Yeah.
And I was angry because sort of like I wanted to know like, oh, like is he? Because obviously like when someone dies, it's almost like, where are they? Like,
because there's no proof of anything. Your mind literally can't fathom, like it doesn't have the capacity to think.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? More than what you're given. So you go into that like mental battle when you're
But then when he's here, it's almost like I can see him, I can account for what's
tangible.
Exactly. So then when he passed away, I was so confused, I was angry, and I said to myself, I got two options. I can either be angry at the world, I can either go down this dark path, because it happens. I've seen people who've lost friends, and I can see like how angry at the world they can get. But then thinking of my dad, he was never a person that wanted sympathy or was woe is me kind of person. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So then for me, it was sort of like, okay, like you've got to find some sort of peace. And then one of my friends just sent me like a verse from the Quran. He was Muslim, so he just sent me a verse from the Quran to cheer me up, and it did cheer me up. And then
that is so cute.
It was so adorable, and I was like, I really needed it. I didn't notice at the time, but I really needed that pick me up. And then it was a month later, because he passed away in March. There was one about my birthday was in April, so end of April I just bought myself a Quran. That's lit. It came. That was literally, I just bought it. I don't know what possessed me that one day, but I woke up.
She said,
God
told me today, just buy this. You might read it, you might not.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Like, something was just said to me, buy it, CHIEDZA. So I just did. I didn't question it. I purchased it. 5 days later, it came through the door. And so I was so excited because I knew what it was. It was a huge package, and I knew what it was.
You're like, I know what that is, and I want it now.
Exactly. So I ran up to my bedroom, I opened, I was like, oh my God. The first thing I said is, this is bigger than I expected. I thought it was going to be like a little normal book. I was like, no, this is really real. Yeah. I said, this is real. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. Like, okay, like, we're here. What do I do now? And I was like, I just read it. I just started to read it. You know what? Yeah, read it. Yeah. Because like I said, my dad has read it before. So I just started reading it. And the more I read it, the more I found comfort in it. And the more it just made sense. And this feeling of like peace overcame me, because whilst after my dad died, I wasn't outright angry, but I was just hurt and empty. I was empty, I would say.
You're trying to fill a void.
Yeah. And this peace came over me, and I was just like, wow, like this. I'm actually at peace for the first time. Like, I'm finding peace. And
was that feeling scary?
It was scary, because then for me it was almost like, if I'm finding peace, does it mean like I loved him any less, or does it mean that like, what does this mean for me now? Like, and then I started to question things like, oh my God, like I was thinking I'm grieving, but then I'm also finding peace in this. And then it was a whirlwind of emotions for me. Like, I didn't know what to do for a long time. So I actually kept it to myself for a good 2 months. I didn't tell anybody that I'd bought, my Quran. I kept it in my wardrobe. And then as time went on, I just started on social media one day. I just followed like a couple like, Islamic related accounts, posting like daily du'as and things. And then again, following more people on Twitter that, and then on Clubhouse, I joined the Muslim room. Just I could join and listen, and just like, I was just naturally just like drawing closer and just kind of like hear what like young Muslims had to say, but also like do some research, because there's a lot, like even now I find that there's a lot to learn, and there's a lot of information out there.
Do you know what it is? One thing that I always say to people is, you're never gonna know everything about Islam ever, because it's literally everything. It's literally everything. So for us to think in a lifetime we can know learn it all, we will never. But understanding that it's a journey, and understanding that regardless you're gonna stay learning, whether you're 5, 10, or you're 50, 60, in your 90s, like you're always gonna be in that. And that's where the peace, I think, for me comes from, is knowing that regardless, like, the more you know, the more you don't know, you know? So like, once you understand that, well, for me anyways, I feel at ease. Because the pressure's kind of off. Like, I feel like I don't need to do anything for anybody, or I don't need to do anything for myself, or feel any guilt or anything, because that's just how it is, So I find that super...
100%. That's cool. The thing. I think even you told me.
Oh God.
I remember once I was asking you, because I always ask her, guys. I've got so many questions, and I'll ask her. And I remember I asked you, and you actually said to me, like, it is a journey. Because I think for me, I'm my worst enemy. And I think I've got to be perfect, especially because I discovered Islam, like, I'm 22 now. I thought, okay, so I've got like 22 years worth of knowledge and like making up to catch up on. So I think for me, like, when you said to me like, no, like, it is a journey. Like you're never gonna know anything. Take time.
Because honestly, if the moment I've met so many people that, you know, have taken the shahada, they've gone into Islam, and they've dived head first, and then a year later they completely pull back because they're so overwhelmed, and it's a thing where it was never built to be like that. Do you know what I mean? Like there's people that are born into faith. Like for me personally, I was born into it, but I could say I came to faith later on in life because I chose it. Do you know what I mean? And that's through education. Like that doesn't mean that for me to go in head first and decide I'm going to do all of this and I'm going to be the best because I've made this decision to now enter this faith, or I made this decision to, this is what I believe. We're human. You know, even like the Prophet, there's a story where please don't, if I misquote, I'm sorry. Like Allah alam, like I'm just trying to, but roughly from what I remember, I did this like a course, and basically there was a member of like the Sahaba, which is the people that he was around, and he knocked on his door one time and he said, when I'm with you and I'm around you, my iman, like my faith is high, like so high. The moment I leave and I go home and I go about my daily life and stuff, it just drops. And he said, why? And the Prophet looked at him and he said to him, you're not perfect. You're not built to be perfect. Do you know what I mean? The same way God is real, the devil is real. So your iman is always going to be fluctuating. It's not about the consistency of trying to keep it up. It's about when you realize you've fallen, you pick back up. The moment you realize, you pick back up, and when you change your mentality to that, it just makes it easier, makes it simpler, and you can block out all the noise that comes with like, but you have to do this, or but you chose this, so you need to be like this, and forget about it. Perfection isn't real. Perfection is a concept. Do you know what I mean? Like no one's perfect. Like just take time, read, learn, and you're gonna always question things. Do you see what I mean? So I'm glad that you actually came to me for that, because I feel like a lot of people, especially with faith, it's very, the reason why Islam is timeless is because it's subjective, right? So other people's perceptions will, and their understanding is always going to be according to them. So them relaying that, a lot of people don't know how to differentiate how to relay advice to somebody else in a general perspective rather through their own personal lens, right? So that was long and unnecessary, but I'm glad that you actually came to me for that, because I know a lot of people are very quick to just say things and not think, oh, actually, like, she's just come into this faith, or, you know, like, she doesn't come from the same walk that I do, so she might understand it differently. Do you know what I mean? So I'm proud of you, girl.
Look at you.
Look at you doing. Everyone in the comments is gonna get on to me, you know.
Did they?
They're gonna be like, yeah, look at her. She's fully abayed out, hijab out. And they'll be like, why you're just out here living your life, baby? Life is life. You know what I mean? It's a bit reckless right now, but let's go into. Oh, it's okay. Let's get into the point. Like, do you remember that moment where you were like, this is for me?
100% for me. And I actually cried this night. So I'd been reading my Quran that day, and I'd been reading a book, and then for me it's sort of like I knew it. I was Muslim, I knew, but for me it was like,
how long? Like, what was the time?
It took me. I think for me, it's from when I stopped wearing my wigs. I used to have my hair out, and obviously, like I said, being like black hair has been a big part of me. But then, as I was just learning and reading, I mean, I understood the purpose of, like, I still don't fully understand the purpose of hijab, but I was understanding what it meant, and it's not just, it's more than a piece of fabric,
right? Facts
on the head, you know. And I think people just think it is that. So when I started realizing that I was being more conscious of like how I was dressing and how I was putting myself out there, and how I was acting, and then I just said to myself, my sister it was my little sister, she goes, CHIEDZA, you've actually like changed like a lot. And
really?
And then Chacha asked me once, like, oh, you're Muslim? Because I never used to wear like the hijab like this. I just used to wear it like almost like a turban style. And then she goes, oh, you're Muslim? I was just like, well, you know, I think I am.
How old is your sister?
She's 15.
So the fact that she even picked up on that.
Yeah, so she was the first one to really pick up on it.
That's cool.
And so I think for me, it was a time span of maybe 3.5-4 months, and I kind of knew by the peak of summer, I knew for a fact, you know, that this was for me. And I remember one night I was on Clubhouse, and it was a Muslim room, and then at the end, a girl was like, oh, my friend wants to take her shahada, and she's gonna do it right now. And then like I listened to the girl, she took her shahada, and then she started crying.
Oh my god.
And then I was just like, oh my god, I was like, there is like no time to waste. And I said, the only thing that's guaranteed in this life is death.
Period.
That's the only thing. Like, what am I waiting for? And then I was in like a Muslim group chat, and I was like just hi guys, like I want to take my shahada, like I said I'm ready to accept Islam, like I'm really ready. And then alhamdulillah, this one lovely girl, she like DM'd me and was like, hi sis, like I saw in the group chat. And then she helped like arrange everything, and then we went to the mosque in Brixton, and I remember it was the 17th.
Wait, pause. Yeah. You took your shahada itself?
Yeah.
That's lit. A whole Brixton?
Yeah.
You know what, let me not even say anything. Continue. I know I just interrupted. That was just, I wasn't ready for that.
No, it was in Brixton, literally, and I remember it was the 17th of September, 2:30.
Wow.
I will never forget that day.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up that day, I was so excited. I wanted to cry. I was so excited, and I was on the train, and I was giddy, and I knew, like, okay, like, this is the day.
At this point, sorry, did your family have any idea that you were doing this?
No.
Okay, cool.
So, and I'll tell you why I waited. And so I took my shahada that day. And for me, I never really told people like outright. And I think for me, the reason being is because I was nervous. I think, yes, I was slightly nervous just because I felt like it is such a big thing. And like I said, just because it's not the norm. Yeah. It's not not even the norm. It's just not the common religion of faith in
your culture,
in my culture or my country. It's not. And so,
especially coming from a household where the culture is very heavy, like they live it, they breathe it. Exactly. It's everything for them. Yeah. Exactly.
I remember, like, even the things my mum and dad always saying, they want me to marry like a boy from Zimbabwe. Culture is so important to them, and so I just thought, oh my god, this is a big thing. But I went, took my shahada, I came home, and then I remember we'd gone out for dinner with my mum to a restaurant, and I actually wore my hijab, and she still didn't know. So I went like this.
No way.
I promise you. Then she goes to me like, "Oh, you're Muslim in the restaurant," and
she defo knew.
Oh, I think at that point
100% she knew. Yeah.
And so then I kind of like brushed it off, but then I said to my sister like, I can't like keep on hiding it. Like at this point, like my prayer mat had come. Yeah. Like I had everything. I was like, there is no time to waste. Like I can't, like, I want to be able to openly practice faith. Right. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not something that I want to do in the confines of my bedroom.
Facts.
Do you get? I feel like that would be such a disservice to myself, and I won't be able to grow closer to Allah unless I'm able to openly
just be yourself.
Be myself, because it's now who I am.
Right.
And so that night, like, Mom, like, I want to tell you something. I was just like, yeah, like, you're right, I am a Muslim. Yeah. She's like, I think she was a bit taken back by it. Yeah. And I know she would have wanted me to tell her, like, sooner, which, fair enough. And then I told my mom, and I think for me at that point, she knew, so that was it. The only regret I have is not telling my dad, or, you know, I wish he would hear to see, like, the growth. But I know, you know, he's somewhere watching me.
Yeah, come on.
So I told my mum, and I was like, that's it, I'm satisfied. It is what it is. Everyone else in my family was. I loved them, but my mum's opinion of me matters. Of course. You know what I mean?
It's high in value.
Exactly.
Your mum,
do you know what I mean? And so then I was like, when everyone else finds out, they'll find out when they find out. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And so, and then on my Instagram, I deleted everything. All the pictures, old me, because I just feel like that's not who I am. And I never dressed outrageously, but then I just said no, because I'm now wearing the hijab. I'm now representing my faith.
Yeah. Let's go a little back. How did your mum react?
How did she react?
Like, so, what was her, like, shock initially,
Mm-hmm.
and then slightly later down the line? Like, how did it go?
I think it was shock at first. Right. She was definitely shocked, and she was like, "Oh, okay." Then we didn't. When I told her that night, we didn't really discuss it. We kind of put it to bed there. And I was like, "Oh, okay." But I felt a sense of ease.
Yeah, because you've let it out.
It's out. Yeah. I'm thinking, I felt free. I was like, okay. Went upstairs, went to bed. Then it was sort of, because we were in lockdown, we weren't really going out, so it was just like, but obviously, like I said, at that point I've decided I'm going to wear the hijab. Like, there is no ifs, buts, or maybes about it. So then when we started to go out a couple of times, for me it was just like, put my hijab on, let's go about my daily business. And then one day my mum goes to me and said, "CHIEDZA, like, are you going to wear like the hijab all the time?" I was just like, yeah. And then she goes to see, like, "You're not gonna wear a wig sometime?" I was just like, oh. I laughed, like, "You're so cute." I said to her, but I said to her, no. Yeah. Because this is like who I am. For me, it's like me going out without clothes, essentially.
Yeah.
I said it represents my faith and who I am. And I think she was just worried for me, just because, you know, being black, you're already like,
you're a minority.
You're a minority as it is. Yeah. And then you're a Muslim, and then you're representing
a double minority. Exactly. And then on top of that, by force, you're showing it.
You get it. So like,
trust me, I know.
Yeah. And so, and I know it comes out of a place of love and as a worry, as a mother. And I get it. At the time, I was angry. I was just like, is she not getting it? I was thinking, just when I thought we got somewhere, you know, like, she's not getting it.
Yeah.
But then in hindsight, I can see that it came out of a place of love. And then now, like, she's very much understanding. She's so like my little like cheerleader. No, like she's absolutely great. She's fantastic.
Lit. Shout out to mum.
You honestly shout out to her.
Shout out to mumsy, man.
I can't complain. Like she's accepting and she understands. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like, again, it comes about understanding, because, like I said, she was brought up in Zim, which is, you're just taught about the Catholic faith. So all she knows about Islam is what she's seen where? On the media, on the TV. And we all know how the media, the British media likes to portray and twist things. They all think that we're members of ISIS, you know, so.
Sis, I can get into this whole conversation.
And that's a whole other discussion for itself. But literally, so again, I can't be angry at her because she doesn't know. Yeah. And so all I can do is just educate her and not get angry and just be like, no, she's just asking, she's curious. And I feel like, for me, I'm glad she's asking me these questions because she wants to learn. Yeah. And
there's hope in that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'd rather, I mean, for me, it just shows that she's engaged rather than someone who's okay and
just never talks about it,
exactly.
Never asks. Yeah.
So it's never going to be the elephant in the room. And for me, at the first couple of times I wore my hijab out with my mum, I was nervous, but now I'm here with it and I do it. And so she's so supportive though.
That's so cute. I love that for you, man, because a lot of people don't have that, like, at all. Like, and I think it's especially African households, like, whether you're coming from a Christian or a Muslim background, African households will always push for culture first, like being raised on culture, like living through culture, and then believing in God is a thing, but whether like you go to church, you go to mosque, all of that is kind of seen as an extra thing. Exactly. So when you're raised on culture and you're raised the type of way, and then your child decides, like, I'm still here, but I want to do this, they see it as if, like, and it just comes from a good place as a parent, but they'll see it as, I've raised you a type of way and you're straying away from that. How do I bring you back? And that's when a lot of the relationships crumble, because there's a level of ignorance when it comes to separating faith and culture, and then it becomes obviously you're the child and that's the parent, and it's that dynamic, and it's a very delicate situation to be in. Exactly. So the fact that you have that support system, like, I want to meet mum. Like, I want to meet
honestly, her. Like, she's great, and I can't complain. And like you said, you said it perfectly. It is about balancing culture, and then you're doing something different. And I think for her, she was just scared that because she didn't know much about Islam, that she thought that she was losing me in the sense. And I get it, like, she just lost her husband, and then here I am coming out to say that I'm a Muslim. So it was a lot for her to handle, but, you know, subhanallah, she's been amazing.
Love it.
Love her to bits. And so having my mom's approval and just knowing that she's going to be there for me has just made my journey so much easier. That and my younger sister, my little sister, she is my favorite person on the earth, and for her, she's been so supportive of me. And for me, it's the little things that she does. So, like, someone got us, she's so considerate. Someone got us like a basket of like just sweets or something, and then she was like reading the background. She goes, "Oh no, this has got gelatine in it. You can't eat that."
That is lit. My siblings don't even do that. They'll just eat whatever they eat. Like,
and for me, that's it was the little things like that I really appreciated. Yeah. And she was like, "You can't eat this cheddar. That's got gelatine in it." And then I think once, you know, the front of my hair was showing in my hijab, and she goes, "Oh, like, just like be careful, it is like showing." So she's been so considerate of that. Or like, even like when I'm praying, I've told her, like, ignore me, go about your daily business. And I think once she came into the room and she goes, "Oh, I could hear it," and then she just sat and she waited until I was done. And or like sometimes if I'm praying, she'll be like to my mum, "Chada's praying, don't disturb her." That's so it. For those things, for me, like, I love my sister to bits, and
mashallah.
I've said to her, like, I don't think she understands, like, those little things, they mean so much to me. Because I get, and I said to my sister, look, me being Muslim doesn't like, it's my own journey, and I'm not imposing that upon you.
It doesn't change anything.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't change
anything.
Exactly. And I've said to her, it's not going to change our relationship or anything like that. And if you want to do a certain thing, you can do that. Like,
right.
I said to her as a joke, we don't eat pork in my house. And I said, if you want to eat pork sandwich, you can.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
So if you want bacon, get your bacon.
And even though we don't eat it, I just use that example to
right.
that joke. And she, you know, and then she laughed off with me. But then the fact that she's actually gone out of her way to be so considerate.
Right, it's sweet.
I appreciate the most. And I just like, at 15, I was just like,
Look
it's
at
amazing.
you.
Yeah,
like,
and it's made it so much easier. Or the days that when I have a bad day and I'm thinking, am I a good Muslim? I'm not perfect. But I think of like the little things that my sister does, and it does actually help me. It picks me up and be like, no, like, you know, you've got this. And she's noticed a change in me, and she said like, oh, like I can see that you're a much better person than you were before. And like, you know, I can't.
Do you know what? And especially since we've been in lockdown, like, the only people you're really seeing is our family.
Yeah.
So the fact that that's been made easy for you again is a blessing.
100%.
Let's talk about friends.
Yeah.
Because friends, everybody knows how much the people around you, excluding family, impact your life.
Yes.
You know, they influence you. Like, you know, your friends are a representation of you. So when you took your shahada and then obviously you put your scarf on, or you decided that you were going to wear hijab, how did your friends take that?
I think generally it was a great reaction. Overall, it was a great reaction. They were so like, oh, I'm super proud of you, I'm so supportive of you. But I don't think they actually quite understand it fully. Because in the sense that, bless my friends, I've said to them, look, you lot, you know, I'm still mean. Like, for example, I think I got invited to like a drink up, and I just said, right.
She sat there like, God, please forgive me.
And then she was like, she's like, drinking game. I said, I was like,
drinking game.
Yeah, and she actually invited me like specifically. One of my friends, like, she actually like said, CHIEDZA, like, are you gonna come? She's like, because her birthday's in January. She goes, yeah, it's gonna be in January. I was like, no.
So I can drink water.
And then I was like, really?
Yeah.
I was like, hijab?
Yeah.
No.
I hear
and
you.
then so that I was like, and then I think they've struggled with that thing just because, you know, they're comparing the old me to the new me, and I've said like,
it's the adjustment.
Yeah, it is the adjustment. And actually, I've had not really a negative reaction, but there was the same boy that sent me the quote back when my dad died. He did like a full 360 on me, which surprised me.
Who is this boy? Who is he?
I was so surprised, only because when we first started speaking, he was almost like to me like, you know, like, I want you to become a Muslim. He was just like to me, you know, like, yeah, once you become a Muslim, we can be together, whatever. And then like once,
right,
because
you were serious.
Yeah.
And then we can get into this as well, real quick. This is my problem with guys. I love men, but I hate men. Do you know what I mean? Because they will come and be like, yeah, well, you know, I can't do this except if you're a part of this.
Yeah.
But you yourself, are you Muslim or are you Muslim by label? Because now that you've reverted and you were like, yeah, you know what, this is for me.
Yeah.
Without him having any say or influence or whatever, cool. That could have been, him being around you could have helped you look into things.
Yeah.
But ultimately it was your decision, right? So him even being like that, and then the fact that you're taking it seriously and he sees that, this is when you can tell, just because you're born into faith doesn't mean you're about your faith.
Yeah.
And that's why I say to people, like, you can come to Islam being born into faith. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Like my whole family's Muslim. Well, the majority of my family is Muslim. Like my parents, everything. Yeah. But I don't think I could happily say that I was just living life up until a certain age, and then I thought, let me take time. Let me pause and figure out the real deal, like what's happening, and then you choose your life, because everything in this life is a choice.
Exactly.
So you see men like that,
that's the thing, and it really surprised me.
Don't do that. If you're a guy out here and you're chatting to a girl that you feel like you can't be with or whatever, and vice versa, because a lot of females are like that as well. Like the women will go and they'll get into situationships or relationships with non-Muslim men, and then they know in the back of their minds it's not going to go anywhere, or it can't go anywhere, and then give him, like, they might break up over, then he converts, comes back. Where are you? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Leading people astray.
Literally, for me, that was the one relationship that we don't speak now. It's just I'm not interested. Just because I thought
good.
You never had good intentions then, clearly.
That's exactly
because
what it is.
The minute that and one thing about me, and I actually didn't tell him I took my shahada until after, just because that way nobody could ever say it was because of man, because they were like, she took a shahada because of man.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was for my own, my own free will. It's because of something that I believed in, something that I had to do for myself.
Right,
so
facts.
I didn't tell him, I think a good 2 months after. And so then when he drew back from me and then started moving weird, I was just like, I put 2 and 2 together just because I was proper like, I still am, but I'm on it. Like, I'm trying to do my deen as best as possible. Like,
mashallah.
Do you get it? And I think maybe it scared him. I don't know what it was. Maybe
do you know what it is? Yeah. It disturbed his peace.
Yeah.
see man like that, yeah? I have a lot to say about man like that, honestly. Leave us alone. Yeah, have you seen that video?
Yeah.
with the sheikh, and he's like, leave
me alone.
Leave her alone. You see, she's trying to be about her faith, and it's disturbing you now. And you see that's the devil. Mm-hmm. The devil wanted to get in between it. Dead.
100%. So I just said to myself, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to engage in this toxic behavior, because even then, like even with him, and I was surprised just because at the same time, like I was proper again on my deen. He sort of like. And I'm not here to judge, but he sort of like started to move away, and I just like didn't like, or some of the things that he was doing were just conflicting with,
what
me
you're
and my
trying to
what I'm
do,
trying to be on, and I'm thinking I don't need those kind of distractions.
Facts.
It would be like me. I could easily go to my friend's drink up, and I could drink
and
water, but then why put myself in that space? And one of my other friends said to me, "CHIEDZA, why go if there's going to be temptation?"
Right.
She goes, "You're telling me right now your heart is pure and you're not gonna drink it, you're not gonna do whatever. There'll be man there, but why go? There's temptation." That is how it starts.
That's the test.
Yeah.
And this is when you start. The deeper your understanding, the more you can start ticking things off. Like, like you came into my life. Look. Now you're a Muslim. You can see how he played a role in your test.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And then same little things with drink up, same little things with the people around you. It might not come from a bad place, but these are little things that are going to test your inner and be like God is coming to you and being like, okay, cool, now you're here.
Yeah.
Are you really, really about it?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? That's just how you need to think of things. But I have a few words for these people, but let me not even, because God is watching me and I'm not trying to do nothing mad. Okay, let's talk about the mental side of things, like mental health, understanding the change you went through, because obviously from what I understood, what you said was you kind of, the beginning really was from your dad's passing.
Yeah.
So being in a state of grief mentally is a lot.
Yeah.
And then being confused, coming from what you know, and then deciding you're not a part of that, and then going into faith and finding a different faith, and then bringing that to culture, and then understanding the weight of your mum who's just gone through one change, and then her daughter's going through another. It's a lot. Yeah. Like mentally, a lot of people can't bear that weight. So talk about your mental state before Islam and after Islam, and
I think for me, from a mental state before, my dad aside, before Islam, I would say, when I was in uni, I would say I was very unhappy, and I always say that for me, it was my second year was awful. Before Islam, like I thought I was happy, but was I really happy? No. Mentally you were just there. I was just there. I had no purpose, I had no direction, so I don't think that mentally and I think right now I'm in a better place than I was beforehand. Right. And like I said, and this is me having lost my dad, I would say I'm still in a better place mentally than I was before. I still get my sad days now, but I'm better than I was before, just because I look at myself and how I was acting, how I was behaving, how I was moving, and the people that I was with. Right. That's not the behavior of someone that I think personally is mentally happy, they're fulfilled. I was not. I was looking for guidance and like some sort of like stability in the wrong places.
What were those behavioural traits, if you don't know?
I think for me, I would say that I was quite rude. I used to swear like a sailor. I think like literally, and I feel like it'd be unnecessary. Like, you know how we're conversating now, every other word would be a something. You get what I mean? Even like down to things like drinking. Yeah. how I dress, like I cringe at it now. I absolutely cringe
do you know what it is? When you're in the moment, you're so in this I don't care mindset, but when you come out of it, like, that was so unnecessary.
100%.
All of that was just so unnecessary. I could have still been doing me in that environment, just not like that. Like, it's wild.
And I think for me, I'm so embarrassed by it, but anyway,
don't be though, that's your story.
I remember I'd come to London, didn't tell my parents, come to London, gone out from uni, by the way, so I'd come from Leicester. I went up to uni in Leicester, the Midlands.
It makes sense. You get everything it? I got lost in the sauce. I see why.
Literally, I used to be the person that blueprint. Leicester is cold, dressed in how I shouldn't be dressed, in -degrees at 3 a.m, on a Friday. So I remember once I came to London for a house party with my friends, and I got absolutely, like, I was drunk off my head, and then obviously, like, they filmed me. You know how it is. And then I saw the video, and I was there talking to a lamppost.
What? Wait. You said that too casually.
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. So you were drunk, and then you were talking to a lamppost.
Yeah, I was literally having a full-on conversation with a lamppost, and I've got the video, and I just look at it, and I was just thinking,
I need to see this.
Yeah, like, literally.
After this, so you need to show me.
I was so embarrassed, and I'm thinking, like, and I watch those videos back now, and then I can just see this is like someone that is, like, unhappy. And like I said, for me, second year mentally, I was struggling a lot. I had gained so much weight in second year, and then on top of me drinking, and then I was, like, so unwell, and then I was in, like, this really toxic relationship that, like, destroyed my confidence. And then so I was really in a bad place. And then I didn't want to talk about it, and then my cure for it was go out and party.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Get mind off
get my mind
for
off
tonight.
It. Exactly. But then the following morning, it hits you again. So then I'm eating, showering, going back out, repeating the cycle. So there was no actual, like, productivity to help me mentally heal.
Do you know what people? Well, for me, when I see that, because I've seen that a lot, and this is why I will never drink. Like, I've never found an appeal in it. Like, it's just never been me. But when I see a lot of people go through that, it's like the living dead. Yeah. Like, you're really, like, there's nothing going on, and you're so empty inside, but you're alive. Yeah. But are you living?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you're alive, but are you living? Yeah. Because you're suffering, and this is how you're dealing with it, by trying to find the paradox in between, like, your reality and, getting waved and falling into that realm.
And if I think about it, did I like drinking? Absolutely not.
And everybody says this to me.
Absolutely not.
Everybody.
The taste of it is disgusting. How it made me feel is disgusting. And I'm convinced drinking has an impact on your mental state.
100.
It does. And when I was already in a state of like a depressive kind of state. I was really down. That relationship I had, it knocked my confidence all the way down. Now then you throw drinking on top of that, it did nothing for me. Nothing good, nothing beneficial. Alcohol there is no appeal in it. Like there is a reason why it's been prohibited, and I can see why. Like, there is absolutely no need for it. But then since I've come to Islam, I would say I'm a lot better mentally, because there's structure in my life, there's stability in my life, and there's guidance. Like, there's a purpose. I'm not just there. Like you said, I'm not there aimlessly.
You have a blueprint. Yeah. You're on a path. You don't know where it's going to lead you, but you know that if you stay on this path, you could end up somewhere. Exactly. So you found navigation.
Exactly. And I think for me, the 5 prayers a day, they help. Even if in the 2 hours, whatever, between each prayer, you get lost, you come back to prayer. And then, everything that just redirects me, refocuses me. So mentally, I'm at peace. I've said this, like,
Alhamdulillah.
I literally think I'm so at peace. I
love that for you.
Yeah, like, I'm really happy. Like, and having the year that I've had last year, the fact that I have been able to find peace and ease, like you said, alhamdulillah, I'm just so grateful and just thankful for that. And I think if it wasn't for Islam, I'd be so lost right now. And actually, I don't like the old me. I don't like the person I was last year.
Do you know what? Do you think you are... So, because I always think, especially when I speak to reverts, I feel like a part of them, once they've reverted and they understand what Islam is, I feel like they were always Muslim, but they were just fighting. Because I remember when I kind of decided, I'm going to start taking this serious and be about my faith. Like, I read something, and it was, from the moment you're born, your soul is fighting, because you're born into a world of sin. Do you understand? Like, we're all born into a world of sin. That's why we're not perfect, right? So from the moment you're born, your soul is constantly fighting to be guided. Yeah. And once you have it, you realize that was in you from the jump, because it's your soul, right? It's going to be in you until, it's forever. Your soul is your essence. It's who you are. Like, this physical form is just for bants right now. Like, we're just here for a temporary reason, but your soul is you, right? So my question is, do you feel like you were kind of always Muslim, and it just took you X amount of years to realize it?
Definitely. And I think so, because like you said, we live in a society and a world where it's not designed for us to be who we are best spiritually. It's you know, partying, drinking, doing all sorts of things that we know that aren't good for ourselves spiritually, mentally, physically. Those are the things that are normalized, and anything else other than that is not okay from a societal point, especially in this Western world. I've said it. And Islam, it saved me from myself, I would say, because I was...
Say that again.
Yes, it saved me from myself, because I was easily could have gone down a very destructive path. And I feel like you said, I've always believed in something, but I just knew it wasn't Christianity. Like, I knew it, and so I was, you know, once I was old enough to just verbalize it, I'm not interested with it. But then I was, like I said, I was questioning. I needed something, and I do think that was my soul. Like, it was hungry for something.
Yeah, it was yearning for faith, for peace to come back.
Like. Exactly. And so now that I've found peace and I found faith, I feel fulfilled. I'm happy. It's just like, you just overwashed with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I think faith is such an important part of who I am now, because it just grounds me. I feel fulfilled. I wake up with a purpose every single day. Alhamdulillah. Do you know what I mean? I'm not just waking up just because
I actually wake up.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I could die in my sleep.
Do you know what I mean?
Allah has woken me up today so I can continue to worship Him, be a better Muslim, make an impact on the. You know what I mean?
Yeah, do what you need to do.
Definitely, I feel like faith. I was struggling, and it was just a longer journey. There are some people that are, like you said, there are some Muslims that are actually born into faith. They come away from Islam and they come back to it. We come at different, like even you yourself, you said that you were born into, you know, Islam, but you truly started like accepting it later, which is
I was born into it, but I chose it.
Exactly. And I love that statement. I absolutely love that statement. So definitely I feel like deep down we're all, you know, like
I
like,
get you.
I don't even need to
finish your like, I get it, right.
Deep down, I always knew there was something, and it was just Islam, that calling. And I'm so glad, alhamdulillah, I'm so glad that I answered that. It's so easy to turn away and reject it. And I've one thing that I found, and one thing that I've actually been like understanding from watching and listening to other Muslims, is that in this society, it's easier to be anything but a Muslim. I think
because everything is designed to be against it. Because people I feel like people just see, especially, this is why I love having faith conversations, because the way I see faith is it being human nature, and people see faith as a rule book, and because I don't see it I don't see Islam like that as per se. Like, I find it so interesting, because everything in this world, right, especially in the time that we live in now, we can't practice Islam fully fledged. We can't, because there's laws against certain things, like even down to currency. Like, we don't believe in currency in Islam. Like, we don't have that. We do trade. Do you know what I mean? Let alone if we go into this one currency thing that's been predicted as, there's so much. I'm looking at things and people are like, crypto this and I'm like, crypto? They're trying to get out, trying to get rid of, what's it called, cash. If cash goes, I'm gone. I'm telling you now, if cash goes, I'm gone. Because these are like, this is really real. Like, and a lot of people are afraid of the truth. And I think with me as well, that's what postponed my journey for a long time, because although I had a fear of the unknown, I knew the truth, and the truth scared me even more than not knowing. Do you see what I'm saying? So for me, like, coming to terms of my nature, like who I am as a human being, like something that is so pure and so aligned with who we are, was heavy. And a lot of people are so soaked up in their lives and in this physical world, they don't have the capacity to even bring themselves back to their core. And that's where the struggle comes in. And that's why they say God guides whom he wills, right? Because you, like like I said, I'll always use this as an example. There are people that were born into Islam and left and never looked back. There are people that are born into Islam and are scholars. There are people that were born as atheists and came to Islam. Or there are people that, do you know what I mean? Like, you just don't know who God is going to guide and how he's going to guide you. And just because you're a part of something via culture, via your parents, via this, doesn't make that yours until you choose it.
Exactly.
So I think that's like I love hearing your story. I'm just here to try to take it all in, like, wow, like, especially for me, because I feel like everyone has their journey. I have my journey, but when I see somebody go from one thing, not just lifestyle wise, but label wise, family wise, like this was essentially all you knew, and you came out of that on your own, and you went through that on your own, and it 9 out of 10 of the times it's stemmed or it's triggered by loss or tragedy or something that is very deep rooted in pain. Yeah. Because they say the 2 times you will remember God is when you're at your lowest and when you're at your highest. So out of gratitude and out of calling for help. Yeah. So it's just like, I don't even have the words right now.
It's definitely true. It's like when I'm at my lowest, I was calling up for something. I may have not physically said it, but Allah knew that I was calling for something. My heart was just like empty, needed something, and so I'm just so glad that it happened for a reason.
Facts.
Islam came to me at a reason, and I think for me actually being in lockdown, it actually helped me on my journey just because there was no distractions.
You were forced to be with yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was forced to look at myself and really think, is this, when we come out of lockdown, is this really how I want to come out of lockdown? How do I want to then, I thought this is the chance for me to almost like rebrand myself, which I have, and I've tried my best, even from things like social media, trying to like cut out things that would just take me away from that, keep me out, because there are distractions everywhere, and like I've said, it's so hard to be a Muslim in this society because this isn't the norm, it's not what's accepted here, and that's just the way it is. Like, I've had looks. I remember I was on the train and oh my goodness, this old man just kept on looking at me. Then he kissed his teeth and he made some comment, these Muslims, and then he said something as he walked off.
I've had full-blown arguments with people.
Yeah, I'm surprised. And then
people are brave, especially for Muslim women, because they think that you're quiet, you're not gonna say nothing. So, look, I know I was on a train one time, and there was this Irish, she was old, she was in her 30s, Caucasian woman, just staring me down. And those women that are brave, like, that will look like they'll fight you. All I said to her was, do you want to take a picture? I said to her, do you want to take a picture? Because all you've been doing is staring at me. And it became like a situation. But people think they can just... Why? Because I have a piece of material covering my head. Because really and truly, if I took off this £5 that I just bought and put something on my head, you're seeing me differently. Do you know how mad that is? Like, you're seeing me differently because I've decided, actually, you see that piece of cloth? Let me slap it on my head. I don't get, like, I think for me, it's something that I found so hard to comprehend and understand. Like, what is the reason? What is the reason? What is the big deal? If I wore a cross on my chest, you wouldn't say anything. And do you know what's mad? And then when you're mad now, when you push my buttons and now I'm coming to swing for you, I'm aggressive.
Exactly.
Or I'm a terrorist, or I'm in the wrong because I look at... I will fight everyone. Try me.
Literally, and I've said, like, I would die defending my faith. Like,
period. 100%.
Because I think, and the more, and like I said, I've only faced weird looks and remarks on a minority of occasions, and like there are some people that have faced it for years, and maybe once I'm out, probably post lockdown, I'll face it more. Who knows? But I'm ready to like die defending my faith because.
That's big.
It could be my test. That could be part of my test, because it could be easier for someone to make a comment and for me to pull my scarf off and say, no, I'm not a Muslim.
100%.
It's so much easier for me to take the scarf off right now. It is so much easier.
This is what people don't understand. Like, being a hijabi and wearing, like, choosing to cover is hard. Especially as a woman. Like, let's even forget society for a second. Within our nature, we like to look good. We like to impress the people around us. We like to smell nice, do up hair, do up makeup. We know especially being covered, like, we know we have body. I want to show my body. Exactly. I want to do, But my love for faith is so much greater that I'm taking steps to slap a value on who I am, not my body, not this, but who I am, my essence. So for that, it's whether it's covering, wearing like more modest clothing or wearing a scarf or whatever. It's so easy for me to walk out and just take everything off because I don't know if it's a societal thing and it's because it's more acceptable, but or rather it being more an inner battle as well. Do you know what I mean? Like people underestimate the fact that we actually go through a lot within ourselves. Like a lot of people are insecure and you know they might be wearing a scarf for X amount of years. I've been wearing my scarf for about 10 years, maybe 10, 11 years, and I'm not perfect with it, and there are times where I look at myself and I think my hair is nice, you know, like my hair is summertime, I look at myself and I'm like, my hair is really nice, I can really, you see that sundress, I can really just slap that on, but God is watching me, and my love for faith is so, like, I'm not perfect, but my love for it is so deep, and this is why we need to like give each other flowers, like even your date, your virgin date, you should celebrate that every year. Like little things, we need to celebrate more because it's hard.
100%.
Like this is what we're here to do, really. Like we're here to just, you know, worship and be and follow and be as best as we can be, whether that is within how we think of ourselves or how society perceives us or not. Like people, like, we need to give each other flowers, like, do you know what I mean? Like every time, for example, one of my girls, she put on, like, she's been Muslim her whole life, but she went through her own personal battles, and she put on her scarf in summertime, and she went from, like, you know, sports bras, booty shorts to like completely covered, and every time I see her I get emotional because I'm like, I've really seen like your whole growth, and it's just like, wow, like I gas her all the time. I'm like, oh my God, you got the new scarf. I'd be like, sis, how we finna dress today? Like let's we need to, it's support, it's love, it's a sisterhood, it's a brotherhood, like it's family, do you know what I mean? So it's you see people, brave people, and they need to calm down. And also, this might be a bit controversial, but I feel like especially Muslim women need to learn self-defense. Yes, they have to. Because I've seen too many things happen to like my family, like my siblings, my mum. I've heard too many stories. I've seen too many things have happened to me. Like, it's not a joke. Like people aren't right mentally. Just because we see things and we, you know, we're people of faith, we might forgive them and X, Y, Z. People don't care. Like they will take your life like this
100%.
Because you look different or they have a perception of what you believe in being a type of way. Like it's wild in these streets.
You're definitely right about that. Like even I see in the social media, I've read so many articles about, you know, like hijabis have had their scarves pulled off, or even if you look about, you know, the other day it was the 2-year anniversary of that Christchurch incident.
And no one's talking about it.
No one's talking about it. It gets so forgotten so fast, and I think sometimes
But let's look. Sorry, I'll cut you off here. But look at 9/11. Every year.
Exactly, with that fail of that, and then, you know, if they're far to say, look at you terrorists, Muslims.
But Christchurch,
quiet,
Quim. And it's not even just that. Let's look at the concentration camps in China. They've been going on for about 6-7 years, but people only found out a year ago.
Even me,
do you know what I mean? Like, and I've known about it for a while. Like, and people just don't, like, it's a whole Holocaust. Like the death toll has passed the Holocaust death toll. That was what, like 6 million, something like that. It's, I think, almost doubled up, and people are just living their lives. Like maybe a little repost. Nobody wants to say anything, nobody wants to do anything, and it's like, it makes you think, even things like Palestine, like I'm a bit controversial, but I'll never say Israel. I'll always say Palestine because of how much these people have suffered.
Exactly.
Like they've been suffering. There are kids being born and this is their whole life, this is all they know, and because it's a Muslim country or a Muslim family, or they're a bunch of Muslim people, like, and it goes to show because they're all different parts of the world, the only common denominator is their faith. So why are we not keeping the same energy for other you know, causes, other injustices when it comes to Muslim people? Because when you're a part of that faith, you understand that, like, regardless of your ethnicity, your culture, we're related. 100%. Like, I will ride for anybody that's Muslim like you're my sibling, because you are. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, that's my people, and people are just really letting them die.
That's the thing. I was only with the whole, with the concentration camps in China, I only found out about it when I reverted, because I wanted to like just learn about as much as I could. And like you said, a lot of the stuff in the media is performative, which is why I say 100%. It's easier to not be a Muslim. A lot of the things that governments do or people of power is so performative. Like with the New Zealand thing, there are a lot of people that will fast out, someone wore a scarf and went to the mosque. That's lovely. But now, what are we doing now? What are we doing to stop hate crime? Because it is so hard to be a Muslim. It is, whether it's the UK, whether it's China, New Zealand, France, wherever. I was reading somewhere that they want to ban niqab in, I think, Switzerland. It is
Belgium, all of these places.
It's things like that just tell me that they don't accept Islam. No matter where you turn, it's not been accepted.
Do you know what it is? It's not even about acceptance. It's the Quran is there.
Yeah.
People read it.
Yeah.
Like, and this is what people need to kind of learn and unlearn, right? People know what's written. They've seen things happen.
Yeah.
It's like when you look at, someone said to me, there's the Old Testament, the New Testament, and then they showed the Quran. They were like, this is the final testament. I died. But it's so funny. But it's like things that are written in the Old Testament, in the Torah, stuff like that. A lot of them cross over because obviously Abrahamic faiths. But prophecies, things that have happened and things that people see, they know they like people in power especially, like they know what's up, like they do, they're aware of it, but they don't want to be a part of it. And because they don't want to be a part of it, that's how now society has become. It's become a thing where if you're a part of this faith, nah, that's weird, or it's the stigma attached to it is mental, like it's so mad. But I just like, people need to wake up. And I think the fact that you've picked up on that as someone that's come into faith, as someone that's reverted, says a lot. Because a lot of us feel like, that are born into it, feel like we're the only ones, like how are we the only ones seeing this? Like, why is it because I'm a part of faith? And I speak to like my non-Muslim friends all the time. They're like, yeah, we know, but now what can you do? And I get it, I understand, because the scale is wild. But it's the fact that you know.
Exactly.
Do you know how powerful that is? Like, people know what's up, but they choose not to care.
Exactly.
I'm tired of this life, I'm tired of it. This is the third world. I need to go to the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth. Let's go. Like, I'm tired. My whole chest. But let's what's it called? I think I had 1 or 2 more questions that I wanted to ask you. Sorry, my brain. Cool. Okay, basically, we're not done yet. I have a question, and then at the end of all my episodes, I like to do riddles. And I have a really good one this week. But before we get into that, let me ask, if you could give, actually, before I say that, what was the easiest thing to adopt, reverting, and the hardest thing to drop?
Okay. I think for me, it's a 2-in-1. So the easiest thing for me to adopt was my scarf, actually.
Wow.
I took to that so well and so fast. Like, I never, from the first time I put it on, no matter, even when I was nervous, I never went out the house without it.
God made it so easy for you. Yeah.
From the last time that I went out without my scarf, I would probably say was 2 days before I took my shahada. The 15th of September.
That's crazy.
I've not gone out without it since. And I don't know what it is, but I took to that so with such ease. And maybe even though we've been in lockdown, even when we opened up for the small, I think 2 weeks we were allowed out. Half time. Literally half time. I've still worn my scarf even when I started my grad job. Wore the scarf throughout my interviews, everything. I took to that so easy, just because I said to myself that I wanted to represent my faith, and I just felt the calling to wear it. Right. So that was so easy for me, I would say. But then the challenge for me, having said that, was also trying to encompass being modest, and then
like completely
modest, and I just feel like I'm still not there. I've still got a long way to go, but modesty, it's
this we all do, don't worry about it.
And I think with modesty, it's so subjective. But then we all understand, in Islam, we get the basis of what modesty is.
We know what it is, but it's tailored to who you are, right? Exactly. So we all understand that, like, I can't come and wear like a tight dress and then be like, because it's maxi, I'm not showing skin, it's modest. Well,
exactly.
Do you know what I mean? But if I'm at a level where this is what I consider modest, I understand that it's not when we're talking black and white, but within my journey, if that's where I'm at, that's where I'm at. And as long as you aim to get to a place where you can completely fulfill it, like as it is, then you're good. So don't, you know, it's your own.
I think also, again, with modesty, I think it's also not even just about how I dress, how I carry myself, because
100%.
as all the sisters that wear hijab, like, we're walking, talking flags, and we just scream these, you know, this is a Muslim sister. So the way that I see, you know, if I as a Muslim girl, if I'm seen in a bar twerking or whatever, what kind of what does that show about? Yeah, do you know what I mean? So I think modesty, it just, especially when you do wear the hijab specifically, I think it's even then more about how you dress, how you carry yourself, how you conduct yourself, which is why for me, I won't go to certain things, I won't be in certain places, I won't even, you know, even at things like swearing, I just think there's no need. It's just
it's excessive.
It's exactly. And I think that also for me, it comes under the umbrella of modesty. It's more about how I dress, how I carry myself, how I behave, because your character. My character. Because for someone that's ignorant on Islam, if they see me and I'm up on a bar twerking or doing a madness or being rude and I'm swearing,
and then you have a scarf on,
exactly, they're going to assume every other sister or every other brother were all like that,
or they'll be like, oh, she's not serious.
Exactly. So definitely, and the haram police will get me.
Do you know what's mad is that ever since I don't even think about them at this point. Like, if you're here, you're here. If you've arrived, welcome. If you haven't, then that's great too. But let's quickly. So Ramadan is coming.
Yes.
It's your first one, right?
Yes.
How are you feeling?
I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
Love that.
I'm excited just because I feel like that month, I've kind of got myself a little list of just like to plan. I've got like hours I want to remember. I want to incorporate more, just more like sunnah prayers and just. So I'm really excited, and but I'm nervous just because it is my first Ramadan. But I understand the meaning of it. You know, Ramadan is not for us to suffer. Allah does not want. Do you know? I think people think, oh, no food, no water. You must want to suffer. It must
That's wild.
Yeah, like. Ramadan isn't for me to suffer, it's for me to grow closer to Allah.
It's the biggest opportunity we have within our years.
Exactly.
To build.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity. If you've been on madness or on foolishness this whole year, if you don't make it up in this month, you're foolish.
Exactly.
You're dumb.
That's why that I see 1 month, even though every single day actually we should try to be better Muslims, but that 1 30-day period, you know, it's when we must.
God's giving you a chance.
Exactly. The holy month, the time where, you know, we should come together as a community, and I think also one thing about all Muslims is like the support, and like this is one thing that I love without failure is the fact that I know if I've got any questions or any help, there'll be, you know, sisters there to help me and stuff like that. So I'm excited for Ramadan just because I know I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Even though we could all be doing it by ourselves in our own little like isolation bubbles, I'm still not alone.
You're definitely coming to mind.
Yes!
Period.
So I'm really excited just to actually go. I can't wait for Ramadan.
I'm so excited.
I can't wait.
You're making me excited.
I just cannot wait just to like fully immerse myself. And I've got like some videos that I actually want to watch because I've decided to cut out so many things, so many distractions.
Yeah.
Like I have a couple friends that will stop. They don't watch like TV or music, and they cut those things out, replace that time with other things. Like even if it's to
fill it with purpose.
Exactly. Yeah. Even if it's to spend like that hour I'm watching Emmerdale or whatever it is.
Judge Judy. Judge Judy.
I'm a Judge Judy fan.
Is that you?
I love Judge Judy.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. The more you know.
I can spend 2 hours watching Judge Judy.
Yeah.
But if in Ramadan I can devote that time to something else, something more meaningful, reading Quran.
And it's only 30 days.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what even is that in your year?
That's what I'm saying. It's only 30 days. So if I can't give up the distractions, because there are so many worldly distractions, I think.
And do you know what this is why I love Ramadan. The air's different.
Yeah.
Because all the badness is locked up.
Yeah.
But you feel it. Yeah. You feel the air is just different.
Yeah.
Like you feel your purity, your nature just coming out, and honestly I'm excited for you. Like I'm ready for this. Like we're gonna come round, we're gonna 100%. Get with it. But
100%.
If you can give anyone any advice or if you could give your past self advice on how to embark on this journey, like what would you tell yourself? What would you tell people that maybe were or are in that position or who are thinking of doing taking a step or looking into faith? Like how would you present that to somebody?
I think the advice that I would give is embrace it. So I think self-doubt, worry can be some of the biggest hindrance of someone accepting faith. Like I was actually speaking to this one girl, and she wants to accept Islam, but she's so worried about what her friends and her family and I said to her, but sister, look, you know, you have to be ready to take that leap of faith. It's not going to be an easy journey. Trust and believe. But it's so worth it. It is so rewarding.
Yeah.
The peace, the guidance, and the purpose that you will find, it is so worth it.
God's got you.
Yeah.
That's what literally people need to stop just saying it. Like, God has you.
Exactly.
And the moment you start believing that God's got you, like, not to say that you're invincible, but you're protected.
100%.
So just be sincere.
Exactly.
Like, do what if you want to be a part of this or anything, if you want to go into any faith or you want to be a part of something, take that step.
Yeah.
And don't let fear overwhelm you, because fear is the devil.
Exactly.
The devil that's the only thing. Yeah. It's that one step between you and God is the devil.
100%. And the shaitan is here to try and keep us away from faith and
presence.
Literally. And I actually heard it, someone was just saying that, you know, that the shaitan wants us away from faith, wants us away from Allah, doesn't want us to know who God is.
Of course.
And he does that through fear, temptation. So take that leap of faith, and like you said, God has you. Period. If you have God, you're going to be good. Whilst there'll be ups and downs, you know, you have some good days, some bad days. And I think also I'd say is, don't be too harsh on yourself.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, I was so close to making them, and if it wasn't for the sisters that helped me and said, no, take time. Like you, I could have easily gone in too fast and then panicked and then think, I can't do this, it's overwhelming, and then
back
turn away.
Yeah.
If you do that, then you could easily find yourself running away, and that's not what you want to do. Take time. You've taken the shahada, you've accepted that's the truth.
Yeah. You're good for like a week.
Literally.
Breathe.
Literally. And take it. So like, even for me, like, I think after the shahada, my next step was, learning how to pray correctly. And then I actually had a book. I remember I still got the book. I did so much research on learning how to pray. I watched videos and everything, and I wrote it all down. And I would just read it and take time and learn those things slowly but surely. And I did it in small increments. And even now, I'm learning Arabic, and I'm learning to pray in Arabic as well. And obviously, like, I still can't fully pray in Arabic, but if I can say, I now know that at least the first half of it in Arabic. The second half is still in English, but it's coming with time. So things like that.
And you know what? Your sincerity is where your reward lies. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I can't read in Arabic, or I struggle to anyways. But you get more reward for being in that struggle and trying than, you know, just knowing it and going into it. But we're gonna go into the riddle. Okay. You here for the riddle?
Say that bit again, but yeah.
Okay, I remember what I said, but
we're gonna go into the riddle.
Oh yeah, guys, we're finna go into the riddle. It's riddle time, baby. This is a good one.
Okay.
Shout out to Fred Santana. I stole this riddle off of him. 90s Baby Show. Everyone go watch that. But okay, are you ready? Yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready? Okay. When you look at it differently, what changes?
When you look at it differently.
I'm so proud of this one, even though I stole it.
I'm all for like riddles.
Sis, I'm a riddle.
Reflection?
Nope. When you look at it differently, think of it. It's not as deep as we think.
Okay.
When you look at it differently, what changes?
Life?
No.
Perspective?
No. Yeah.
Are we too deep? Okay.
Yeah. When think very, very surface level.
When you look at it differently,
what changes?
What changes?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Oh, nothing. It's still the same.
She got it. Yeah, because we're just looking at it differently, but the thing is still there.
No, that's a good one.
That was good, right?
Yeah.
I'm telling friends, love for that one, because I defo took that. It's a wrap, guys. This was so good.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you.
Anytime.
You plug yourself. You know, if you know, businesses or socials.
Okay.
Let the people know. Let them know.
So I'm a little baker in my free time. So follow me on Instagram. It's at the cake with an D at the end bar. At the cake bar, all together. And follow me on Instagram, Zim Darling.
Period.
Yeah.
It's all gonna be in the description, you lot.
Thank
It's
you.
been sweet. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my god, that was